Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Allie and welcome to the top comment where I read and react to insane internet chaos in the form of Reddit stories. So if you like this type of content, please don't forget to subscribe. It is totally free and it means a lot to me. So today's episode is a continuation of Tuesday's episode, Red Flag Roommates. On Tuesday, we looked at a roommate who found his roommate hiding under his bed like a total freak. And then we looked at another roommate who has a problem with toilet paper. So we're going to kind of continue that theme today. Let's get into it. All right, this one comes from r/petty revenge, and it says, roommate kept using my makeup without asking, so I made sure she'd never do it again. I shared an apartment with a girl who has no concept of boundaries. She constantly borrowed my stuff without asking. Clothes, shoes, and worst of all, my makeup. I told her countless times to stop, but she always brushed it off like it wasn't even a big deal to her. The last straw came when I found out she had used my expensive foundation for a party and didn't even bother cleaning up the bottle when she was done. That's when I decided it was time to teach her a lesson. I went out and bought a cheap old foundation from the dollar store and swapped it with mine, adding a bit of self-tanner to the mix. I left it in plain sight on my vanity and waited. Sure enough, the next weekend she waltzed out of the bathroom with an orange face. I didn't say a word as she headed off to her party. The next day she comes home furious, complaining that people had been laughing at her all night. I just smiled and said, oh no, maybe it wasn't your shade. She didn't touch my stuff ever again after that. You really shouldn't be sharing makeup. I'm gonna be very real with you guys right now. There are certain things that are okay to use, but in general, you should not be sharing your makeup with your friends, with your family, anything like that. What goes on your face? I don't want to share my expensive makeup with somebody else just so that they can get their face germs all over it and then transfer it back to me, who is very acne prone, who will break out into tons of pimples all over my face. Not to mention too, like with mascara and eye products, you don't want other people's eye goop getting in your eye goop. That's disgusting. I don't care what anybody says. That is so gross. I don't share my makeup. I mean, like if you want to borrow like, I don't know, my lip gloss or my chapstick or whatever, okay, that's fine. Sharing sunscreen is probably okay. Sharing like perfume, obviously, but anything that's gonna go on your face, like, also, I'm surprised that you guys have the exact same shade because foundation is very like fine-tuned to the person that's wearing it. So I don't know. And then getting into the fact that she took it without asking, that's not borrowing, that's stealing. Sounds like you should do what the toilet paper girl had to do and just lock it in your bedroom, put it in a bag and take it with you every time you go to the bathroom if you have that shared space. The top comment says, did she not know how to use a mirror when applying it? How did she not notice her face was orange before leaving the house? Someone replies to the top comment and says, it could be the lighting. I once bought what I thought was my shade of foundation. The girl at Ulta even helped me out. We did the skin test and everything. Even when I went home and put it on in the bathroom, it did look like it matched my skin color. I left the house and started driving. I parked and looked in the mirror real quick and noticed that my face was now orange. I looked like an extra out of Jersey Shore. As somebody who currently works at Ulta, I can confirm this does happen. I don't want to say all the time, but it does happen a lot because when you're shopping in a store like that, all the lighting is fluorescent. I mean, it's like really bright. It would be like me trying to do my makeup sitting here in front of my beauty lamp and then walking out into my hallway and expecting it to be the exact same thing. So it can definitely be different shades. And also some self-tanner doesn't like activate right away. It takes a while to sink into your skin, and if she's only putting a few drops in there and then mixing it together, it's probably developing as it sits on her skin and mixes with that foundation overnight. So there is a good possibility she was a completely different color just by the time she got to the party versus when she left the house. The next comment says, nice. I knew someone whose roommate liked to use her perfume, so she pried it open, got low and peed in it. Ew. Hid her new bottle and left the piss cologne out. Chick doused herself in piss and was none the wiser. Fabulous job on the foundation concoction. Okay, this is why you shouldn't borrow people's stuff without asking. I can't really blame the girl who peed in the bottle. Your pee skills are pretty impressive. I bet you do very well camping, but I don't borrow other people's stuff without asking. Otherwise, you just might get covered in pee. That's pretty gross. Fragrance is really expensive. Perfumes and stuff are typically pretty expensive. Don't just go borrowing that without asking. You always need to ask people. Again, I feel like I'm teaching kindergarten. The last comment on this one says, my mom worked at a factory where in the locker room, each woman was assigned a cubby where you could leave your coat, personal belongings, purse, etc. There was one woman who constantly borrowed personal items. Doesn't matter if it was makeup, hairspray, lipstick, whatever, and she always refused to stop when asked. One lady solved the problem of hairspray. She painstakingly faked a can of red spray paint with the label of a popular can of hairspray, sat it on a shelf in her cubby, and left the locker room. She had told her friends what was going on, and they were all just waiting for the thief to walk out of the room. She came out of the locker room in a hurry with a head full of red paint. I would have given anything to have witnessed that. She really got caught red-handed in the act. That is a great form of revenge. I'm glad you guys all got to witness that. I imagine that was hilarious. All right, the last one we're gonna do today. This story comes from Ask Reddit, and it says, what is your weird roommate experience? And I want you guys to tell me in the comments below, do you have a weird roommate experience? Have you ever been the weird roommate? Don't lie. I will catch you in that lie. I know some of you out there have been the weird roommate, okay? I love you, and it's okay. We all make mistakes, but tell me in the comments below. The top comment on this post says, my freshman year, my roommate liked to f his mattress every morning. One particular morning, he farted himself awake, ripped out his phone, rolled over, and started f***ing his mattress in the span of about 30 seconds. It's comments like these that really make me question my life choices to sit here and read these types of things on camera to you guys. So, what the f did we just read? I'm glad I don't have to read it alone. I mean, you're all here with me, so going through the chaos together, just like a big old family. That is absolutely disgusting and bizarre, and, you know, it was a man that did it, and I'm just gonna leave that there. We're gonna leave it there. We're gonna move on. The next comment says, first roommate ever was super weird. The thing that sticks out to me the most was the rules she had about only asking her one question a day. If you asked her one, she would answer. Ask another, and she wouldn't even acknowledge you were in the room. What a weirdo. Hey, Sarah, how's your day going? Oh, it's going really great. How's yours? Oh, great. Do you have any plans today? The next comment says, she wouldn't do the dishes until a literal gecko got into the sink to eat her leftovers. And then someone by the name of Gecko Flamethrower replied and just goes, can confirm, bitch was whack about those leftovers. The next comment says, had a roommate in college who had plenty of money, but he slept on a bare mattress always. He didn't own any sheets or a pillow. Ew, that's weird behavior. That's giving serial killer. If you're gonna sleep on a bare mattress, you're a weirdo. The next comment says, I had a roommate who would get into my bed, lie naked, and pretend to be asleep there when I got home. She would claim she just passed out there. Not as good as it sounds. I really wasn't into her that way. The last comment says, I've got a few, both random roommates from college, Super Dave and the drug dealing father. Every person we had over, the drug dealer would try to sell to, making it super awkward every time. Also, he brought his kid over very often. We eventually got rid of him. Super Dave was all right, but pretty weird. Regularly washed his clothes in the bathtub and left them there for a few days. Walked in on him with the vacuum cleaner and his pants halfway down. College was weird. Super Dave, if you're out there, there's a reason you have that nickname, and I think we deserve to know. My dogs are my roommates now, and they're perfect. I don't know if you guys can see Roman right here, but he's like, I got a weird roommate. She's sitting right next to me. Am I a weird roommate? I don't think you can see him. We'll find out when I edit. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for accepting my short episode. And I love you. And I will see you on Sunday for the mashup. Don't miss it, okay? If you have already watched these 2 episodes and you don't want to rewatch them, that's fine. I'm not going to blame you there, but use the timestamps, skip to the end of the episode, and we're going to do an update on a story that I read from 2 Hot Takes last week about a girl who found out this guy she's been rejecting for years actually told everybody that they are in like a serious relationship and even asked like his mom for her wedding ring. So we have an update on that story. It is going to be at the very end of Sunday's episode. And yeah, I can't wait to see you guys there. Bye!